2021 meeting of the Merrimack Conservation Commission. Let's see. So I know Andy will not be with us. He's next door for another meeting. So Ellen, would you go ahead and serve as a voting member for Andy?
I was going to say, Ellen said it last time. Do you want to have Mike sit in this one?
We're going to have them both sit in because we're missing Mike also.
Okay.
I'm right here.
Mike,
The other Mike.
You wanted Mike to sit in this one, right?
Yeah. All right, we'll move into the agenda. We have one member of the public with us tonight, but not here for public comments, here in a role to observe. We have no appointments, and we don't have Fieldstone here for our only matter of statutory advisory business.
We do not.
Do you think anybody got confused by the more crowded meeting next door?
No, they know where we are. Although this is someone new, I don't recognize his name.
Huh, there are a lot of meetings here tonight. There.
I'm glad there's a sign out front.
Yeah.
Is there a sign? Oh, I didn't even notice.
School board
Yeah.
that way.
Continue on.
Yeah,
If they show up,
if they show up, we'll just come back to them.
reprint it.
So new business. Well, I guess I am the one that can talk about this. So this new business, what it is it's the Student Conservation Association. It's actually SCA, not SEA. Student Conservation Association. It's a volunteer corps, a New Hampshire Conservation Corps affiliated with Davis Bush was the individual who reached out to us. I think this same gentleman reached out to us last year. So what it is, it's groups of young people with facilitators, usually 5 or 6 individuals that make up a hitch. And what they do is they do these 11-day conservation projects. Some of the things they specialize in is land management, trail work, historic preservation. Right now, the reason they reached out is right now they're reviewing projects for 2022 and 2023. What it costs for a 11-day hitch is $11,000. So an 11-day hitch, it's 10 working days, and then they take a kind of a rest day midway through the project. The request, they'd like them in by mid-October. I mean, if we have some ideas, we can certainly put this on the agenda for our October 4th meeting. And we can talk about potential ideas here too. It's on tonight's agenda for that reason. Last year, if you wanted to see some of their work, I asked them what projects they did around here this year. And they said they did, last year they did Salmon Brook Trail in the Joyce Wildlife Park, which is in Nashua. They did send us one picture of it. It's hard to really appreciate size and scale and so forth on the picture, but the picture was pretty impressive. I think you saw it too, right? Where they rebuilt a retaining wall. They did these wonderful steps. I mean, it was quality work. But if anyone wanted to go see that, that was the Salmon Brook Trail in the Joyce Wildlife Park. You can also go to their website. I went to their website. There's a whole bunch of pictures there. They list some of their references and just all kinds of laudatory comments about projects that they've done and the work they've done. Last year, one of the sticking points we had, and I think we kind of arrived late at the dance last year in terms of planning. One of the sticking points was you have to house them. You have to find a campsite for them. And of course, that's an obstacle for us because all of our parcels are no camping. So I did. This year we had a little more time to develop this opportunity, so I did ask them what sorts of things they've done in the past. When they did the work in Nashua this summer, what they did was they stayed at Greenfield State Park in Greenfield, and they just commuted from there. So that is an option. They can commute.
We're close to that than they are.
We're closer to that than they are. I reached out to Camp Sargent just to see if they would, especially if we were doing it early season while school's still in session.
What
And
about Natticook?
and Natticook may be an option too. I didn't reach out to them yet, but but I certainly can.
Yeah.
I can ask
Yeah.
them. I didn't know when they opened for the season.
Well, yeah, but when do they wanna do this? What's the timeframe?
This is for next year.
No,
They
I mean, like, time of year wise.
anytime during the summer. So that's why I thought Camp Sargent might work. Get them in there before schools are out. You know, get them in there early June, late May, that sort of thing. The other thing they've done with other conservation commissions in New Hampshire that they've worked with, they've used town property that's either near a stream or a river. I guess it's one of the things they can do is filter the water, and they'll live right out of that. They've had portable toilets delivered, you know, to the areas near where they're working in discrete locations. Again, this would all have to be funded paid for by us. And they're also equipped to do backcountry camping, which, you know, it requires, I guess, the kind of field craft that would be required if you don't have sanitary toilets and so forth. But, so that is what this opportunity is.
So this is what Matt was talking about last year, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and I have to apologize because you and I did talk about this, and then I forgot that you wanted this on the agenda, and then Mike asked me to put CCorps volunteers on, which is why we're confused now, so after
Oh.
we get done talking about what you're talking
There
about.
is
we'll
a
ta-
SCA.
There
I
is an
wanted,
SCA, yeah.
okay.
There is an SEA corp, so once we're gonna finish
Okay.
talking about yours, then we'll talk about his. But yeah, we can put it on the agenda for the next meeting, and we can talk about that $11,000,
Mm-hmm.
because
And
that,
they don't need all the details now. I
Right.
know one of the items that rose to the top last year was the bypass trail.
yeah, that was the big one.
And at some point in time, I thought Matt or somebody went and talked to Paul McCauley about allowing camping.
I'm not
That
sure.
doesn't,
I
that
can
doesn't
go-
sound
Mhm.
familiar. We like, look, you know, because they're gonna be working on the parcel, they're,
Mm.
you know, it's not like, they're not gonna be out there just like, you know, partying up. They're gonna be,
He did, if I remember, I know Matt did talk to
yeah,
him.
but I
And I
think,
think they said if the Conservation Commission wants to allow it, we can allow it. I think I'm not sure we're unanimous agreement that would be the right message to send
yeah,
to approve camping, even though it was for this function, and just introduce anyone using that parcel to people camping. And
yeah.
I mean, that's another part of the debate we should have if we think that's the
Yeah, so I
direction
mean,
we want to
if
go.
If we did something like that, I mean, you know, obviously get them up off the trail, get them out of plain sight,
Mm-hmm.
and we still have the issue with fires. You know, you can't be, little jet boils or something like that's fine, but they can't have open campfires,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Their website certainly painted the picture that that's what they would prefer to do, is do some deep woods camping.
Yep.
Be out of sight, out of mind.
Right,
Because I think that's part of the training, is they were
Yep.
teaching fieldcraft and that sort of thing.
I mean, Horse Hill and Greater Woods, they're big, but they're not that big.
Greater
Right.
Woods is perfect because we could probably
Yeah,
give them a key to the restroom facilities right there,
from the school?
up at the middle. Yeah, you think? Or is that a stretch?
Yeah, I think that's a stretch, but we can try.
Well, we could just put a couple of porta potties in there for them.
We could put a couple porta potties.
There's the one down in Bishop Field, right? That's the one on in Bishop Field already?
Yeah, I was thinking the upper field at the
Yeah.
middle school. It's got that nice.
No, I know what you're thinking. It is a great idea, but
Yeah.
we just, well, we have Lori right here. We should have asked her when she was here.
Well, maybe I'll take those as a couple takeaways. I'll talk to them about whether or not we could use
Well,
Wasserman.
Yeah, would that be Matt Casparius?
Yes,
Yes.
that's the name I was looking for.
Because that's the best water access.
Yeah.
I mean, the water access they're gonna get up in Greater Woods is,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd wanna swim in any of those ponds.
And I'll see if I can reach someone about the restrooms at the middle school. Yeah, and there was a whole packet. I mean, if we wanted to do something like this for 11,000 plus whatever the campsite costs would be, we would want to present to them soon, Octoberish, a you know, kind of our idea. And so then there could be some back and forth. I mean, we would fill this out, but he told me, don't sweat the details on this. Once we agree on a project and propose it to them, because I think they take all the projects they get, and they do some picking and choosing there. What best suits the training and educational needs of those teams, those teams of.
Do they have any restrictions against camping on private property?
Oh, I didn't see anything like that. And I read through, they had there was a whole information pack that went with this. There were things they would not do, you know, don't propose graffiti removal, don't propose litter pickup. They want nothing to do with the construction site. I assumed that was, for a lot of those were for liability reasons,
What
but
about invasives? So they don't wanna do invasives?
he didn't say that.
That's probably, that a lot of time takes spraying, which is a licensing.
Okay.
You have to be a licensed applicator
Oh, okay,
to do that,
Mm.
so.
right,
They may,
But-
but I'm just saying, that's a different,
right.
Would have to be the manual pulling, right?
Yeah.
They did the invasives.
Get some of that poison ivy out.
the garlic mustard,
Mhm.
you know, pulling, something like that. That's,
I can certainly ask about,
I don't wanna spend $11,000, that's a lot of pulling garlic mustard for
Yeah.
$11,000.
Well, I was thinking of in Wasson in the burning bush, so, but.
well, I guess,
You know, that's a great idea, but I don't know if you could ever get that out of there.
Probably not, at this point now, I think it's.
I mean, it's
So
everywhere.
much, plus the location's a little,
Yeah, it's hard to get it
dicey.
out.
Yeah.
Because of being infested with ticks, so.
well, we'll put this on the agenda
Yes.
for the next
This time
meeting.
I'll really do it.
Thought you'd done it this time. I figured it was a spelling error. But I think we think about projects. I'll ask him about private property.
What are you thinking of volunteering, Mike, 12 years?
No, close to where that Woods Road is.
Okay.
We have a parcel that we own.
Oh,
That's
okay,
that's on the road,
yeah,
but there's also some people local in the area that have some property that they've been. It's not populated. It's just
just
rock and woods and water,
there. Okay,
because they're right there on the stream.
okay,
So
sounds good. All right, so that will be on for October 4th.
I guess that brings us to the other CCorps volunteers item.
All right, so the Naval Sea Cadet Corps is a Navy-sponsored youth organization. So basically, they wear the Navy uniform, they get their ribbons and stuff for doing certain things. One of them is the volunteer ribbon, and they need 30 hours of community service. So I'm hoping to set up something that they could do for us, picking invasives, something like that. You know what I mean? They don't require a porta potty or any money. But if you want to give it, that's nice too.
is there an example of the kind of things they've done in the past? Like what jobs they've taken on that meet this criteria?
Each individual is pretty much on their own to go do volunteer stuff, because it's a personal award,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Boy Scouts or something like that. But for this is kind of a organized thing to help them out, to push them to get involved in their communities.
Is-
So,
Is there any way that they could kind of connect, you know, a couple of the volunteers and, you know, I'm thinking, I'm not sure that we would trust someone that doesn't have bridge building experience to build a bridge, but, you know.
they're not gonna be building a bridge.
All right.
These
How old are
kids
they? They're like,
between 10 and 18.
oh, they're little, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so they're younger, okay.
So that's why I said picking invasives, because
Well, but now we just talked about invasives, and you have to be licensed to
Well,
clear.
as an app, if you're trying, like the knotweed, you gotta go in and spray.
Okay,
And to spray, you have to be a licensed applicator.
all right,
I mean, you can try digging it up, but you know, that much of a piece of knotweed that you miss, it's gonna grow.
Right.
I was thinking, could we put a cloth over that, like the weed cloth to, after it's picked, to prevent it from going up?
Not the weed cloth, but a tarp,
Yeah.
a actual impervious tarp, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking some sort of
That's, Yep.
biodegradable
if
stuff
it's- no,
after a few
it-
years.
no, anything that's gonna allow water to permeate through, that's just gonna continue to grow.
Alright,
It's unbelievable stuff.
yeah, Sklar's having a real problem, cause a lot of light gets through the trees and just spreading from the boat launch right now.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess it would be good to know what sort of things, maybe we could reach out to the subcommittees and find out what type of things they have
Yeah,
that 10 to 18-year-olds could do. I mean, and the other question too is, if they're coming on their own, then one of us would have to go out and work
they wouldn't
with.
come on their own, there would be, 2 instructors minimum with them, one of
Okay.
them would be me.
Oh, okay, so you would be with them all the time. All
Yeah.
right, so, because I was gonna say, otherwise, one of us would need to be out there.
Do you have
Alright.
any projects in mind?
I was hoping one of you would, suggest something.
Well,
Mine was picking, invasives, but,
well, I mean, it's certainly possible, but, you know, if you
I
want.
mean, they could cut small trees or something, you know, some trail work or something like that. Nothing with a chainsaw, but,
Well, yeah, you also gotta be careful with some of the, I mean, the small cutting things, but some of those.
Gateway Trail needs to be cut back.
Yeah. We have,
We're supposed to be keeping that 13 feet wide. It's not 13
wait a
feet.
minute, which one is this?
Gateway Trail,
Gateway, yeah.
right through the center of Greater Woods.
Yeah, I think you need to be careful what a 10-year-old has though to cut. You know, a small
Well-
set of clippers is fine, but.
You would not believe the stuff I used to cut when I was 10.
I suspect
it would be, they can take apart a rifle, so I think,
My
you
son
know.
was in Sea Scouts some years ago, and I suspect the crew you'd have wouldn't necessarily have the full age range.
Okay.
In fact, the crew could be as few as, 1 or 2
Okay.
of the
Yeah.
students. Am I correct in that?
Well, you'd expect at least 5 and maybe 3 or 4 instructors would show up.
Get something done.
And
Yeah.
I was thinking having a few of these through the year, you know. Just give them as much opportunity as,
So we have a couple of projects that it's gonna be difficult to do manually, but they're projects that we always wanna get done. It's mowing around some of the facilities,
mowing.
you know, like the.
Do we have a mower?
No, that's the problem. So we're allowed to use some stuff from the DPW, but that's never gone forward, so I don't know if it's gonna work, but there's, the foundation, foundation right next to, what's the other property there? Not Greater Woods. Horse Hill, thank you. There's we got the foundation in there that we've never, it's
The Spalding.
Oh.
Spalding Station.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's been cleared. I don't think it's been
Yeah.
cleared. The last time it was cleared was probably when I did it with, that was a while ago, with Pete, so.
Yeah, that was pretty covered the last time I went.
Yeah, we've got the whole walkway down to the Beaver Dam and
Yeah.
Mitchell Woods. Some of that needs to be cleared out. There's a lot of, work. All the bollards on the observation deck off the school have been ripped off. Most need to be put back on. We got lots of maintenance things for any of the outdoor parcels that have been built on, have projects built on, the decks, the seats and benches, stuff. A lot of that stuff's pressure treated and it's getting old, so we either need to go in and oil it or.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be, you have to be that careful to do that, cause we have to lay down tarps and spray it and then gather that stuff up, cause you don't wanna get it on the ground, so.
Yep.
There's things like that there's a lot of maintenance items that can be done.
So maybe if we made a list and I could go through it and,
Yeah.
you know, set them up throughout the year, we can start checking them off.
Yeah,
What about the multi-floor rows that's at Horse Hill? Is that
Yeah,
hand
that-
pull? Right. I mean, I know it's close to the wetlands, so they have to be careful, but I think that's a hand pull, right?
yeah, that's good stuff, cause that you can pull up you can pull that up pretty much and it pretty much dies.
Okay.
You just gotta be careful of getting rid of it.
Now, it'd be
Nice.
nice if some gloves were provided.
Yeah,
Am I the only overprotective person that's like, we don't want them touching poison ivy, because, you know, they can? Is that like not an issue for most people?
It's not an issue.
All right.
As long as they understand, you know, the adults in the group understand what the conditions are likely to be.
Yeah. Now you know how both my kids managed to get to their 20s without breaking a bone.
I didn't break a bone.
Huh?
I didn't break a bone.
All right.
One of my 5 didn't.
It's good percentage.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I broke my teeth.
I said, hey, you're still breathing.
Okay.
Was that,
when do
We
you
got-
need to know, when you need to,
Anytime.
okay,
There's no.
there's no deadline, there's no
Rolling
nothing.
deadlines, I
Okay.
love them.
Yeah.
yeah,
What?
Rolling deadlines, I love them.
Yeah.
all right, that gets us through new business. Old business, we have the the shed supplies. I don't know, we debated whether we need to put that on the agenda again. It's probably something, item we discussed that at length last time, I think.
We did, but you know what, this brings up kind of a good point of, do we, at some point, do we want to invest in some sort of lawnmower?
Yeah, or some gloves for our volunteers.
Gage is looking at me.
Well, we've talked about owning equipment before,
Yeah,
and it always comes down to who do you train to use it?
right.
I mean, those brush mowers are not, it's not a lawnmower.
Yeah, that's a pull behind, isn't it?
No, it's a, you know, it's a
Oh,
driven,
one of the,
it's a driven,
the
it's
stick ones?
it's a driven, no, it's like a snowblower with a,
Oh,
you know, it's like the DR brush cutters,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a machine,
Okay.
you know, it's not, you know, you screw up and people are losing
Hi there,
limbs.
what you looking for?
Where's, you know where the school board meeting?
Yeah, go
Other
across
building,
to the building
second
over
floor.
there and up the stairs.
So I mean, you know, and again, like chainsaws, things like that, it's like who's qualified to use those?
Right.
And it's always been, you know, the minute that we provide them to a group, we get into a gray area of like, now who's responsible? Something fails, you know, even the maintenance, who's responsible to take care of the maintenance?
Right.
So it gets to be a gray area, so we've always just kinda used our own stuff, and
Okay. So who do we know that has a brush mower?
we have.
the Flying Eagles have one, and they wanna cut some trees.
We have two, three. We have 3 members of the community that have loaned us that type of equipment in the past.
Okay. And who on the commission is trained to, besides you, you could do it, I'm sure.
Oh, Pete was.
He was.
Pete and I spent some time with that, I think.
You know, Pete said he'd come back and
Yep.
help out, so
But
I
there's,
still have him on my contact list.
I still can't say his last name.
Oh, no, okay, different Pete, I thought you were talking about Pete Albert. Pete Albert said he'd come
Oh,
back and
no.
help out.
Pete,
Talking about Pete Marcel.
yeah, Pete
Yeah.
M.
I can't say.
Pete M.
All right, so we'll talk about, we'll
Well, it's the thing, so it's always been a discussion as to who's responsible for it.
Right.
And last time we had the discussion, that was when Paul was like, look, if you guys really need something, go to the DPW.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Can you borrow
That was the
a plow
feedback
truck?
that Andy got
Yeah, I
from
was
him.
gonna say, can I go borrow a backhoe?
Well, okay, so DPW, when you walk into, Wildcat, DPW goes and they mow around the
Mhm.
first retention pond there.
Yep.
So, you know, if that's something that they can do on, you know, once a year, they could, you know, mow out Spalding or whatever, that
Well,
would be
then-
great.
Yeah.
Is that something that they can do?
Can they or will they?
Will they?
Mm.
They haven't yet.
All right, so what if we put together a list of places that we would like
Sure.
cut on a
I'll send it to you.
rotating basis?
Hmm.
And then we can submit it to Lori, and
Yep.
Lori can see what she could do for
I
us.
think we already did that, right?
Number of times.
Oh, okay, numbers.
All right, well, let's try again.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
We'll try again.
Yep.
Right now, I'm working on trying to find out who the person to talk to for the DOT side of Wildcat is,
Oh,
because we
Tim.
have questions. So
Tim, I bet Tim had that.
I'll ask Tim then.
Tim was the one dealing with that when we were looking at trying to get them to donate it. So he's probably at least got some contacts.
Yeah, I just need to know as far as maintenance and
Yep.
stuff.
Now, Mike, you were talking about gloves for volunteers. It would be good to have them. What kind are you talking about? Like this, I can tell it's for handling the heavy
I'm
equipment.
talking about the kind you could get from Home Depot. I have a couple pairs I use. I can't think of it. It's not the thick leather ones, but
Yep.
it's the mechanic glove kind of.
Because, yeah, those ought to be, if a crew comes and says, we want to help,
Mhm.
I'd love to be
Yeah.
able to just hand them those.
They're pretty cheap,
Mhm.
so, and they last a long time.
It doesn't require a shed, just a person who will be available when
Mhm.
they're needed. Because that's something minor, but if that's something we don't have now that we could have, let's get on with it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a simple thing. If we know when the crew's going out, we just make a motion, approve an expenditure to buy some gloves. So when one of us run out and get them, and just reimburse the community development can write a check and reimburse the person.
Probably just buy them through, probably buy them.
Probably buy 'em through, yeah.
I'm sure DPW doesn't, they don't go out and
Mhm.
buy their own. So we've already got some association with finance to go buy that stuff. Kyle's downstairs, he'd know.
Yeah.
We
If
should
it were a
probably-
no-notice type of thing, I probably could wander out to my truck after a meeting and probably find a half dozen pairs of gloves. And if half of those make it back to me, I'd probably be okay with that.
I
Well-
just don't want that to be a stopper, you know, if we've
No,
got
no.
volunteers and,
It's
you know.
never been before.
Mhm.
You know, it'd be pretty neat.
We've never supplied
Mhm.
materials, water, donuts. It's about the only thing we've ever supplied.
Mhm.
Do you want me to ask Rhonda if, you know, she could get us if that's something that they could do, and if
Yeah,
she
I mean,
could get us
yeah,
a price
she
for
could-
like 50 pairs or
Well,
something?
she can talk to Kyle and
Okay.
find out what they buy. I mean, I'm sure they're buying gloves that are decent quality.
Yeah. Do we need to worry about size, or do we just get one size fits all and the 10-year-olds can just deal with that? Of course, there are probably some 10-year-olds that are bigger than me, so,
Their hands are pretty small.
yeah. Oh, well, okay.
I think,
I'll talk to Rhonda.
Mm.
Okay.
Do we want to talk about subcommittee, exofficio positions? Let's start with Greater Woods.
When's my term up?
It's up.
Oh.
Oh, what, you're talking about?
Does someone else wanna do it?
I still got Wildcat, so.
I mean, we don't meet, it's not a heavy meeting schedule. The subcommittee right now, there's only about 3 people left on it because it was pretty much disbanded and we had a couple people move out of town, so. I'll continue to do it, but if someone would like to do it, I'll certainly acquiesce.
Steve's looking at me like I'm.
Oh, no, I'm just thinking of, I'm trying to think of who's missing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mike Porvier.
Yeah, probably not.
Mike's got
No,
Sklar.
he's got Sklar.
Mhm.
Yeah. Why don't we, do you wanna do one more year
Sure.
and then we'll see if we can convince Ellen to be secretary and take over as subcom? I know, do you feel like we're needy? We're a little needy here.
Oh, ask my kids, I can lose my hearing real fast. Just
All
Well,
right.
we appreciate Gage throwing his own name in the ring, name in the hat.
All right.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to appoint Gage as the ex officio member for Greater Woods Subcommittee.
Second.
Who was
Cindy.
first, Cindy?
Cindy seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0
Oh, wow,
to 0.
congrats.
Thank you, Gage.
It's unanimous. It's a full,
Thanks,
it's a
Gage.
sweep.
Mhm.
Something new.
So what do you want, Wildcat Falls is another one we should address tonight?
I'll do Wildcat again.
Is anyone campaigning against Gina? All right,
I'll make a motion to elect Gina as the ex officio for Wildcat Falls.
I will
Term of
second.
1 year.
All in favor? Motion carries 7-0.
All right. Eric, what do you say?
Yeah, I'm open to it.
Okay,
For Horse
excellent, thank
Hills?
you.
All right, I'll make a motion to appoint Eric as the commission's ex officio member for Horse Hills Nature Preserve Subcommittee.
Second?
Second by Cindy. All in favor? 7-0.
Is it you or Mike B?
Probably Mike B.
All
What
right.
is it?
I was gonna say, I thought it was Mike B.
Yes,
I
Okay.
think so.
as the ex officio for Scalar.
I'm sure he
Oh,
would
yeah.
do it again.
I'm the chair of Scholar.
Okay, so,
You can't be both, so.
Can't be both, okay. I think we
Can't?
can not feel comfortable
Oh.
nominating him in his absence.
yes.
All right, I make a motion that we nominate Mike Boisvert
Second.
as the ex officio member of the Scalar Waterfront Park Subcommittee. Did I hear you second it? Seconded by Mike Druin. All in favor? 7-0. That motion carried. All right, well, that was a pretty quick agenda item. Thank you all. This one, we should probably, I'm gonna make a motion to take this from the table, to discuss the invasive knotweed. They're taking hold on a property off the Brookside Drive. Did someone second that?
Second.
Second by Ellen. If no, for no other reason, we want to take this one off the table, just so we can either agree not to do this, or at least agree not to have it on our agenda, month after month after month.
Yeah,
So-
I have not heard, I've called and left another message, I have not back, so I'll.
And I don't know if this was tied to a certain time of year, but it was roughly 1 year ago that we talked about this, or last talked about it. I don't know what provoked us to talk about it at that meeting, but that's kind of when we
Yeah, I don't know.
reintroduced it.
I don't know if it's this time of year when we're supposed to do it, but the last time we did it was during pollination season. Cause remember all the issues we had with the beekeepers?
Mm-hmm.
They wanted a 2-week notice of when we were gonna do it, and we had to give them all the chemical breakdowns and everything, so. Cause knotweed, the bees love knotweed,
Oh, I
Ah,
see.
so it's a
That's-
really strong pollination
Okay.
for it, and the honey from it's really good.
That's
by
the
way.
red bamboo honey. Remember I brought it in one time?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's really good.
yeah.
But it's, so we had to give them 2 weeks' notice, and we gave them all the breakdown of all the stuff that we were using, so they could keep all their bees in the hive.
And it was Bay State Forestry was the
Yep.
company that had done it.
Yeah, and the guy that did it, their licensed applicator, was Mike, whatever, he's no longer with them. So they were our forester, but the 3 people that we used them, I think the 3 people that we used primarily big for them have all, are no longer with the company. So we may need at some point in time to go out and look for another forester if we're not happy with Bay State. We haven't ever asked them to do much lately, though.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it might be cheaper if we buy the equipment and get licensed ourselves.
I think that is a pretty robust licensing program, isn't it?
To be a forester?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and, I know you're serious, but there's no way in hell we could ever build a road like that.
Well, I'm talking about spraying plants. I'm not talking about anything else.
Okay. We go to them as a forester. They're able to, all sorts of cuts, road creation, construction projects.
Gage, how did the concerns of the beekeepers come out? Was that something that the forester looked for, or was it posted something for public notice?
Well, yeah, we, obviously, it's agended, right, so it was there, and, one of the folks that lives down by, off that area had bees,
Okay.
and came up, and so it was, I'm glad, it was, cause obviously that
I
was
would,
nothing.
that
Yeah, that's the-
consideration would not have
Yeah,
entered
nothing
my
we were,
mind,
nothing
but-
we, not on our radar at all, and so we're really happy that he came forward and told us that, because it changed what we were doing
Mhm.
some other places in
Mhm.
town, so it was very helpful.
So what do we wanna do? Do we just wanna keep it, just take it off the agenda and if necessary?
I'll get hold of someone at Bay State and we'll find out if it's a seasonal thing or whatever. We don't need to keep it on the agenda.
Yeah,
Alright,
just
so,
remove it, and if we get a price and wanna add it to a future agenda, we can.
Yeah.
alright, so I'm gonna make a motion to remove this from the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Sorry.
Mike, you're not in favor?
Oh,
No.
I'm in favor.
Okay. Any abstaining? Opposed? Okay.
You're opposed?
Motion carries 6 in favor, 1 opposed.
Yeah, we'll bring it back at some point. We'll just keep it off for now. We can't do anything until the spring anyway, so.
Let's see, was that it? Yes, it was. Brings us to other business, subcommittee updates.
So we had, the Horse Hills Nature Subcommittee had its last meeting at, I don't have the exact date, but I think it was August 27th, I think was the date. We discussed a few things that we thought should be brought up here. One is, like I think it was Greater Woods, we have a need for more members. We currently have 4 members, that is including me. Also, there's Tim Adams, who is an alternate, so he can't serve any positions. So ultimately, that's only 2 full-time members. Obviously, Tim is always becomes a voting member because there aren't enough.
Does he not want to be a full-time member? He does not want to be a full-time member?
He doesn't live in Merrimack. He moved to
Oh.
Nashua, so he had to go back
Okay.
to being an alternate. So we did put up flyers on the kiosks at Horse Hill. There've been maybe a couple of people interested, but nothing's materialized. No one's inquired about showing up. We're also putting we're also putting on Facebook on the Horse Hill Subcommittee, on just Horse Hill Nature Preserve Facebook page that they're looking for members. Nothing has materialized yet, but we are.
Is it on the website yet? Is it posted on the website that we're looking for members?
I don't think it is on the actual website. I think it's just on the Facebook page.
Okay. Are you working on the website? Is Tim doing that?
Not yet. We have to talk to Tim.
Okay.
So there's that.
We've also done some stuff with community development. They were posting it somewhere
Hmm.
when we were looking for members. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
right
had
now
them and
they're-
we had the town council announce it during their general meetings too.
Yeah, right now they're trying to fill, I think, 3 spots on the planning board, so,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so they're kinda, but we can put it on the Positive Forum, we can put it on the, Merrimack Outdoors.
Yeah, but I was saying the town council just they read a
Oh, okay,
general note,
okay, I
and so
gotcha.
they're looking for, we can go get on their general
Okay, sure,
announcements.
yeah.
Do we
can
have
that.
a list of open spots?
Yeah,
I should be on the Horse Hill Committee too, because I spend too much time there. I spend too much time there not to.
motion to elect.
Yeah, done.
Seriously,
Well,
I
if
know
you-
that better than I know Greater.
If you wanna go on it,
You can go on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my suggestion would be go on it now, and then at some point take over for Eric, and then Eric can move to, to another.
But yeah, because
Well,
Yeah,
Wildcat
spot.
Falls is the one I'm
Give me
most
those.
familiar with.
Well, you can have Wildcat Falls whenever you want. I'm gonna leave when my term is up anyway, so I'm
I
only
might
here
too,
until
actually,
June. What?
I might also leave when my term is up too, so,
When
Oh,
is your
wow.
term up in June?
June.
Okay.
We'll see, I don't know, 'cause I get my master's degree then, and I don't know where I'm gonna be.
If
I might
bake-
not even live in
if I-
Merrimack
If
after
I
that.
bake cookies for you, will you stay?
Yeah, well, yeah, of
I've been
course.
watching the Great British Baking Show. I make really good cookies now. We'll call them biscuits.
She'll make you British cookies, huh?
I'll make you British
Okay, fine.
cookies.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, but that would be a good idea if you, worked with Eric, and that would be great. And that way you'd be all set to take that over for next year. All right.
Hmm.
So normally we do an interview. I'd say we've interviewed you.
Yeah.
Do we need to vote? Do you need to vote?
we interviewed her to be on here,
Yeah.
so I don't
Mhm.
think,
Do we need to vote?
well,
Hmm.
to
I
have
think
her
this,
join.
is this a show up and you're in thing?
We had members of the subcommittee, we vote them on through here, yes.
Yes.
You do.
Okay.
Yep.
So, shall I just make a motion? That,
Are there terms that are abandoned?
That was another thing I was gonna ask, because no one on the subcommittee knows what terms they are in. I guess they've all just slipped through the cracks, and no one knows like what year they're in, what term, when their term
Oh,
is up.
well, I think that's kept by community development, because we have to tell them.
Yeah,
yeah,
My term on this ends next June 30th.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
We
Well-
try to stagger them here, so.
yeah, but I think you came in as an alternate, and
I
they
did.
put you in
Oh.
for an alternate
Oh, okay,
that
so I'm
left.
doing that.
So you came in for that, and
Yeah,
then
so
you would,
you're finishing out someone else's abandoned term.
right, so then you would go in for a 3-year term,
Okay.
if you choose to continue, which I'll bake you cookies too. I'll be everybody cookies if they stay.
You know the way to get me to do things.
Yeah.
So you wanna finish your motion?
Yes, okay, so I'm gonna make a motion to, what's the word, appoint Ellen Kolb as, a member of the Horse Hill Nature Preserve Subcommittee with a term to expire, we're gonna have to say June 30th, cause your term is up June 30th, 2022.
I'll second. All in favor? Fantastic, 6 in favor, Ellen
I guess I'll
abstained.
abstain,
You
All
want-
right.
so-
Another
So,
volunteer?
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with your motion, Gina, I just have a question.
Sure,
So you're saying it ends on June?
well, actually, it doesn't have to end.
No, because that's a separate subcommittee.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right,
So
we
it's
can
gonna
do it
be-
as long as you
That's what I'm
want.
saying, we should look and see what terms are abandoned, and we don't know that now, but we can assign that term so it doesn't mess up the cadence.
Okay.
I'm open to that.
And then we
Okay.
can,
Modify the
and then,
term.
and, yeah, and then.
All right, so let's start with that, and then I
Okay.
will ask Rhonda,
Check the others.
yeah,
Can you ask her to just get a list for everybody,
sure,
all the subcommittees? Cause I know there's a couple, obviously, I'm, people have left,
Mhm.
so we need to get them off the list.
I will do that.
Sharon had started, and we, at one time, had a list of everyone, all the contact information, everyone on the subcommittee and the thing, so hopefully that's being kept up.
Maybe I need to bake Sharon cookies too, because she left us. Okay, I will do that.
Are there other subcommittee updates?
yeah, subcommittee, I know we talked about, the SEA possibly helping on, multi-floor roads clearance, but the subcommittee did approve of the goat plan. They just, depending on, cost estimates.
Okay, and I did look into that, and the problem is that they will not take the goats more than, I think it's 20 miles, and I
Oh.
could not find any places within a 20-mile area.
Too bad I sold my goats.
It is too bad. So, though the goats are out, sadly. I mean, I could put a note
There's
up on
people
the
with
forum.
goats in town.
Yeah, I know, I could put a note up on the forum
Mm.
that, I mean, the question is, do we wanna pay for goats, or, I mean, we're gonna have to pay for them anyway. We slice it, so.
Mhm. Well, I mean, I'm sure the
Was that,
CCorps can
conservation's
do
got
almost
goats.
as good of a job as goats.
Really?
Guy right in the end of Conservation Drive's got goats.
You what?
Right in the end of Conservation Drive, he's got goats.
Okay, well, we can always ask.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to get the goats there, and then usually what they do is they set up a fence. That's why it gets a little dicey, because, most people don't wanna set up a fence to keep the goats in.
Oh, I just put a dog leash on mine.
I'll go up and knock on his door.
Alright. I can put something up on the forum,
Yeah,
and say,
yeah,
if
yeah, I
anybody
mean,
has goats and
yeah.
they wanna,
We're
they
looking
wanna
for-
rent
for-
them out,
For
we'll-
green deforestation of invasives. We want your goats.
Other things we discussed, we've been looking into unauthorized trail making at Horse Hill. Most of the trails, at least the trails we were initially discussing, turn out to either be just forgotten trails that were just never put on the map, or just trails that may have been made and sort of maybe like deer paths, things like that. But there was one trail that was definitely man-made, and we are we know who's making the trail. We just don't know exactly how to pursue this. You know, is this something like a cease and desist order, or so we just don't know like really where to go from there.
I think
Should
with
ask them to
that,
come here.
it's probably something, you know, when we close the public meeting, if you would just wanna give me the address and the name.
I don't have the,
It
we
doesn't
weren't
need to be
entirely sure
part of the
the
public
address.
record, but
Yeah.
I think we just turn that over. I think we've developed the route to at least initiate enforcement of those things.
Has
It's just-
anyone-
It starts with a notification, but if you wanna just give me the details, I'll run with
Has
it.
anyone spoken to this guy or girl, whoever it is, saying,
y-
saying, please stop?
Yes.
Okay, so they've been notified.
They, I guess in an unofficial manner, a member of the subcommittee has notified the person, and the person admitted to doing it. But they didn't want to be like confrontational, I guess. So I don't know if they were, to what degree they were notified.
Were they
Yeah.
asked to stop? Or just, yep, that's me.
Yeah, they basically said, yes, I've been doing this. I'm not sure if
Okay.
they know it's
I-
not their property,
Okay,
but I'm not sure if they've ever been explicitly told,
but, no, it's like,
you're not allowed to be doing
Yeah.
this.
okay.
And finally, I wanted to know, have the Eagle Scouts chosen projects yet?
I
Not
know
yet?
they're doing something else in town.
Okay, they have, okay.
There's a couple different
Still waiting on
troops,
them.
so we've had Eagle Scouts from a number of different troops.
Okay, yeah, they just wanted to know if, there's been any project that they've chosen or not chosen to do, regarding Horse Hill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but not, but, you know, they know to not, delay on anything, cause I do know there's one, project at Horse Hill that, you know, even if the Eagle Scouts don't do it, we are gonna do something. It's rebuilding one of the bridges, I forget which one. But yeah, so, that is, it for the, Horse Hill meeting.
Excellent. Good recap. Any other
All right,
subcommittees?
Sklar.
All right, go ahead.
So we're meeting the 26th in the evening. We'll be going over our plan for the fall, which includes cutting trees after all the vegetation is died. There's a number of trees that are very much dead but standing, and there's also a lot of trees that are damaged, like one of them blew over next to the boat launch, and it almost took another one with it. But that one's just kind of like this, half uprooted, and it looks like someone used a chainsaw to cut it in half, but their chainsaw was too small, so now the tree's gonna die, and it's gonna blow over in the next couple of storms, definitely.
We've had, we told DPW about trees, you know, potentially dangerous trees they're gonna cut them for us.
Like, these need to be taken care of. I would like it to stay where it is though, like laying down, cause it's blocking off the trail that the Jeeps were using to get in there. And now they're moving the boulders to try to get in there now, cause their chainsawing didn't work.
All we can do is tell
So-
the police about that again.
So, because there's a lot of dead trees and damaged trees, we were hoping for some permission to, over time, drop them. Either us for the smaller trees or DPW for the larger ones. It's more for safety, but it's good because it's gonna land on some of these trails and help out with the off-roaders.
How close are these to the edge of the water?
It depends which. There's a lot that are more than 300 feet away, and there's some that are closer. And I'd imagine that permitting would be required, but maybe not for the dead ones that are like barkless and to have no leaves. That's more of a safety thing.
DES, ask them,
Mm-hmm.
Lori Summers. See what she's got to say, I mean, it might be something or for maintenance purposes, we're
Yeah.
allowed to go in and just do.
Yeah. Sure.
Also, I talked with the Flying Eagles and they gave me this paper. You guys can pass that along and look at it. So basically,
At some point, since you're passing that along, I need to get a copy of it so that it can be entered into the minutes.
alright, so basically, the airplanes, they can't fly out of sight. And when they started there, apparently the trees were a lot shorter, or there was no trees. At some point, that was clear cut. And now, their flying space is getting smaller.
What was the original
So-
boundary, do you know?
What was that?
What was the original boundary?
I'm not sure, cause the developer owned those parcels, right? And I don't know if it's the deed or the purchase agreement, but they are allowed to stay there. It's not leased by the town.
Mm-hmm.
So what they wanted to do was to remove the very tall pine trees, one of which is there, and there's a couple here, and there's one right there. But also they want to remove the trees at the approach area, there's like 3 trees, and they wanted to remove a couple in the area no one goes. And they also want to build a small walking bridge, somewhere right here. Across a stream in the back, which no one goes. Apparently their planes sometime crash land in the woods full of fuel and they need to retrieve them. So this would help them retrieve their fuel-filled planes so it doesn't leak into the environment.
You just need to get a map, parcel owners,
Mm.
should be no reason that you can't take some of those trees down.
No, and if this is the one that Mike and I talked to him about last
Yep.
December, I know we had asked them
That's the
to
one.
mark them, put some tape around them, don't paint them, but put some, caution tape around them or just so we could kind of go down there and maybe go down there with DPW, figure out who owned them and chart a path forward. I don't think we ever got to that, but I think that would still be our ask for them to go down and do that.
Well, it's pretty clear who owns the trees. On their side of the road, it's the town, and on the water side, it's us.
Yeah, I think just to give us a sense of the magnitude though, too, are we talking 4 trees or 10 trees?
5 full-grown pine trees,
That's it, 5?
and some smaller trees. I could do it with my small chainsaw.
I don't think we're at that point yet, I think we just-
But they agreed to pay for it and hire a professional that has insurance, if they got permission.
Do you have a photocopier anywhere, or do you want,
Of that, you can have that one,
can I have this one?
yeah.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy it, I'm gonna send it to Dawn so that she can make it part of our minutes, and I'll send it to Rhonda. And then, can we put this on the agenda for next time?
Yeah.
October 4th?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of those Flying Eagle people to come.
Well, helpful too, if, when they say they wanna cut back to the original boundaries and that, if they could get up,
Yeah.
do another picture like that and just mark off where they're expecting to cut. Cause
Yeah.
then we'll have a good idea of what they're trying to do.
From what they told me, at the very minimum, they just wanna cut, some trees to help, cause when they approach the landing strip, they don't wanna drop
Yep.
down like this, so,
I'm just saying,
I
the
mean-
minute they take out something tall, all the stuff underneath it's gonna come. So
Yeah.
they just need to, we need to have some, look, it's gonna be always okay to take it back to here. Give them a boundary now, it says, yeah, you can keep, a year from now,
Mhm.
cut again, right back to here. So
yeah,
if they can put the boundaries on there, we could probably go in one fell swoop and say, keep everything within here, keep it clear. Give them a little leeway and
Yeah.
not have to keep coming to us just for asking questions.
Yeah.
Didn't Flying Eagles come before us and ask for permission for this probably 2 or 3 years ago? I was gonna say,
We've
do
talked about
Thought it was
cutting
last
trees
year.
back
Yeah.
there a
Yeah.
while.
do we really need to drag them in here again, or
I-
can we just do this?
I can get them to draw
I-
up
I-
their
I don't-
boundary.
I don't,
I don't think.
what
we
they're
need to-
asking for is not outrageous at
No.
all.
No.
So I don't, if they wanna come in front, they're welcome to come, I don't,
Yeah, but I don't think they need to.
no.
And I think we told them
Unless
last
unless
time,
they want to, yeah.
Yeah,
because I think there's some town land here, we told them last time,
Yeah.
don't even worry about requesting the permission from the town, let us carry it forward and present it to
Right.
DPW. We'll do it all if we can do it, unless the DPW really wants to talk to them. We just want them to mark those,
right.
you know, mark those trees, put a orange rib around them, so Kyle can go look at them, or whomever wants to.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll put that on the agenda for the 4th.
I'll get that information.
All right, so you'll get a copy of that back when you get your next meeting minutes too.
Brings us, were there any other subcommittee updates? Were you
Also-
done with that one, or?
Also,
Oh, thank you.
So they also offered to keep our parking area mowed, which would be very helpful. I don't think they need permission to mow our parking area.
When you say our parking area, what are you talking
The
about?
Sklar one, like right next to their field, just
Okay.
like around the edges. Also, that road is getting really bumpy, like really bumpy. So if there's some way DPW or something could just go and flatten it, it doesn't have to be paved or anything, just, you know,
Yeah.
Given the limitation of the railroad.
Mm.
But yeah,
Well-
I know what you mean about that road.
Yeah, usually what they do is they put down some recycled asphalt, but that's hard to come by, so.
like I have to brace my wheel and push back to, so I don't go flying everywhere.
Yeah,
You can't get a grader down that road, though, right? Under the bridge, right?
We can get a backhoe. That's it, it can't be trailered, they gotta drive it through, they
Yeah.
can't trailer it in there.
Also, in the winter, I was thinking if we could get a plow truck down there, to kind of, people don't launch boats in the winter time. And most of what they launch into the river there is kayaks, and I wouldn't be kayaking when there's ice on the river. So if we could get them to push the snow at the bridge so they can't cross the stream, that would help out a lot for the off-roaders. Kind of make a
I'm not
snow
sure.
pile to,
Where?
Mm.
blocking off access to go over the bridge. It doesn't have to be at the bridge, but, kind of blocking it off using snow.
Oh, right by the corner, when you go
Yeah.
around that first corner, so that as far as you can get is the parking space?
Yeah,
The parking lot,
just
that's
kind
it?
of plow it, block it up. There's no reason to go over there. The only reason is the boat ramp. Everything else is off-roading.
It's true.
Mhm.
And they'll kind of save the road, because it does melt a few times and
Mhm.
creates a lot of mud.
is that something that you discussed with Mark?
No.
Cause I wonder, he's down there and he probably has, a plow on his truck, I wonder if he'd be willing to do that.
I'll talk with them.
It's a
Yeah.
public road,
It's
Oh,
not a road.
okay.
well, it's an unnamed road,
Well,
it's an unnamed access point to a town property.
All right, so DPW.
So we
should do
probably
it.
should get DPW and
Okay.
make sure that it's okay.
Okay,
Mm.
I'd hate, cause Mark's been so helpful, I'd hate to get him in hot water for something silly like
yep,
that.
that's right, you are right. All right,
and also we might have a volunteer for a subcommittee right here,
yay,
just so you all know. And that's it for Scholar.
okay.
Any other?
I'm just gonna say, like, 2 real quick things about Wildcat Falls is, we did get a request from the high school athletic director, and he wanted permission to, for the team to do some trimming. And no one seemed to have an issue with that, so they have done some trimming. Then I did get a complaint from someone, which I pointed out, and he said he would check and see if that was his team. He didn't get back to me. Then we got a second complaint, that someone, and this looks like it was on a different side, on our side, that someone had spray painted,
Oh, I saw it.
yeah, on the trees, just some small markings. So I'm wondering if that's the guy from UNH Co-op that's marking where he wants to put the cameras.
Oh.
So I guess I should get in touch with that person and find out what's going on with his project and what he's doing. Because it would be better if, rather than spray paint the trees, he put something on so that they weren't.
Yeah, we prefer
per-
people not to paint it.
Yes, exactly.
You know, I have all his info, don't I? I've spoken to him.
Yes,
haven't
you
I?
have,
Let me, I got the note. I'll reach
Okay.
out. And
yeah.
Can't
I'm
believe he
just
would
curious.
spray paint, but I'll ask.
It's a very small
Mhm.
marks, but, you know, we did get a complaint, so we do wanna address it.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, I don't have anything for Wildcat. They will be, just so the public knows, they will be running, track down there, and they will have some meets, so,
Doing cross-country
cross country. Yeah.
in Wildcat?
Pardon me?
In Wildcat?
At Wildcat, but
Are
they seem
they-
to be staying on the state side.
How are
So-
they getting there?
They're coming down.
So they're
through-
coming from the high school?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
so one of the things that they wanted to do was work on that path, so it's like, well, that's your path, so. You know, but I did tell them that they would need to contact DOT to do any work there. So that's why I want to get the name of the person that's the contact for DOT, because, you know,
Kyle would know that too.
yeah. I asked Lori, so she's supposed to get back to me. So I'll keep you posted on that.
Everything, that's
That's
it for Wildcat?
Yep.
No other subcommittee updates? All right,
No.
let's do the presentation of the minutes. Have the minutes.
Got 'em?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will make a motion. Where are we? To approve the Merrimack Conservation Commission meeting minutes dated August 16th, 2021, with changes as follows.
Second? Steve? You wanna go first?
I only had two things. Page 1, line 21, you can tab engineering in so that it's under Austin. And the only other thing was on page 5, line 8, should be Chair Perkins, not Chair Perry. That's all I had. Anyone else?
No? Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes as amended?
I'm abstaining.
Opposed? You're abstaining?
Because I wasn't here.
Okay, so 6 in favor, 1 abstained. Eric abstained. Which brings us to, well, oh no, it doesn't. Public comment? Ma'am, you've endured our entire session. I'm sorry, I forgot your name too. Kathy. Did you want to tell us what you were interested in volunteer opportunities?
Me, if you have a good fit. So I'm a master gardener and I'm currently
Can
in
you
the
please-
middle of the natural resource.
We need you to come up
Yeah.
to the microphone.
Come
so
on
you
up
can-
and introduce
Just-
yourself.
yeah.
Just so we can have it on the record too.
Yeah.
All right.
And just push the button so the green light goes on.
Green light.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. So, I'm Kathy Green. I am a master gardener and I'm currently enrolled in the natural resource steward class for New Hampshire. And, I was just kind of feeling out where I can maybe get some volunteer hours. And my main interests are pollinators and invasives. But that's not to say everything else doesn't interest me. I'm like a butterfly. I flip from here to there. But those are my main interests. That's all.
So we did try to get a pollinator garden going at Wildcat Falls, and I was in charge of it, and it failed miserably. So
Oh, I
if
can help you
you
with
are
that.
interested in that.
I'm currently volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club in Milford.
Mhm.
And 3 years ago, we started an edible garden, so we work with the kids every week, mostly during summer break, but we've added 2 good-sized gardens. One was just a pollinator garden, but this year we added a native plant garden. And then we've incorporated that into, the educational stuff. So yeah, I can do pollinator gardens.
And also Eversource wanted to, Eversource has corridors. They have easements for corridors going through Horse Hill and Wildcat. And they expressed interest in having pollinator plants planted. They have certain criteria, it can't be above a certain height. But I know they're interested in working with us too, if that's something that you'd be
Okay.
interested in.
So,
Those are massive tracts of land. I mean,
Yeah,
it's the
I
whole
understand.
space underneath the power lines, yeah. so
I
it's-
understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a program to collect milkweed.
Yes, I saw
Seeds?
that, yep.
Is that gonna be part of this, or is that something completely
They don't
different?
have a drop-off spot in Merrimack. The closest drop-off spot, trying to think of the closest drop-off spot I saw. It was,
Goffstown,
yeah, probably.
except I could take it to my class.
Okay, okay.
What is a drop-off location? What
So
is
what,
it?
go ahead.
So what they're doing is collecting the native milkweed pods when they turn brown, just
Mhm.
collecting the seeds, and they're going to be dispersing them along the highways.
Yeah, but as for a collection receptacle, why is there only one in Goffstown? What do we have to have here to have a receptacle?
UNH Cooperative Extension has office in Goffstown.
Right.
For Hillsborough County.
Yep.
But when I went to my class last week, they said that we could bring it because, it's UNH,
Right.
Cooperative Extension, that does the class, basically. So, but they can't be green, they have to be, like popping open, and you put them in a paper bag, and they're just collecting, but they don't want like butterfly weed, they just want the native milkweed.
Right, just for the monarchs.
So that would require you to be
Yeah.
able to ID it.
I'll send it to you guys. I'll send you the thing. They put it, popped up on Facebook, so I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that looks interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was the neatest thing, that
Yeah.
someone's finally doing something that makes sense.
So part of our, when you started the pollination, pollinator garden,
Yeah,
that was met with great, we were all happy about that.
yeah.
And we were looking for, no, and we were
So
looking,
why did it fail?
well, we were looking forward to replicating that at the other parcels as much as possible. So, if that's something to start on,
So it failed because I don't know anything, I don't know enough about gardening. So I
Oh.
got permission and I ordered $70 worth of wildflower seed. And I'm like, this is gonna be great. So a bunch of
So-
us went out and we raked everything down. And then I actually went out with someone who has a gardener thing from UNH.
Yeah?
And the directions said, sprinkle the seeds and tamp them down. So we did. And then we left because there's no way to water them, and the birds were watching us and they're like, yeah, put 'em in."
right. They're all over that.
Yeah, so that was the end of that.
Okay. We started with plants,
Well, that's what we need to do, so,
but a lot of the plants are self-seeding, so you start small,
yeah.
let things go to seed, and they just.
Well, and the thing is, we did have some high school, there was a group at the high school, a club, and they wanted to plant, they got some trees up at the State Forest Nursery. So they did plant some trees on some of the properties, but I
Okay.
bet we could get, if you wanted to do some, if you wanted to work with a group of them for pollinator gardens, I
Yeah, I
bet that
could
we
do
could get a
that.
group from the high school.
So I learned something really interesting this week. So we went to a woman's farm in Canterbury, and she mulches with sheep's wool,
Oh, that's cool.
because that absorbs the moisture in the air
Yeah,
and then releases it into the soil. So she has a vegetable and flower garden that's quite large, maybe 4 times the size of this room.
You gotta pick the hair out of your teeth.
And
That's
she has
huge.
no way to water it. And this is how she does it. And she said even last summer when we had drought, her plants came up and they
She
did
just
beautifully.
tills wool into the soil.
You don't till. Tilling
Tills
just
it's a
brings
bad-
up weeds.
That's a 4-letter word.
She just laid it like a mulch on top of the soil. So if we could get wool,
I was gonna say,
That
where does she get all that
is
wool?
So cool.
she lives in Canterbury,
Yeah, okay.
it's a little bit more
Yeah,
rural than
enough
here.
said.
So I bet
But
that
there's gotta
keeps-
be someone that has sheep, and she said even the ones that, sell the wool because it's high quality,
Yeah,
there's waste because
Yeah.
it's covered with manure,
right,
and it doesn't matter for the garden,
yeah.
so,
Oh, that's cool.
and it's the lanolin in the wool that's, it just all works. Anyway, I thought that was really
So
neat.
that-
Does it's gotta break down over time.
Eventually, yeah,
Yeah.
so she says about every 2 years she has to replace it.
But so even then, she just like rakes it up and puts them down, or she rake it in,
I think she just leaves it there, cause it breaks
just
down.
goes on top of it?
Mhm.
That's great.
That's so
So
cool.
that would help with the no water.
Yeah,
And I think it's probably, even if you had to pay for it, I don't think it'd be more than $200 for
Yeah.
a good-sized garden.
yeah. That's
So are you interested in volunteering on anything in particular, or just being a resource
I
and
don't
being
know.
involved in
I
projects?
just, this is just me finding out what's there.
If you had a volunteer group, would you be willing to start a pollinator garden at Wildcat and fix what I ruined?
So what kind of support would I have?
What do
Well,
you need?
yeah, what do you need?
So, it sounds like you need wool, plants,
Yeah, people.
people.
Do you want to work up, kind of a proposal?
How big was that space?
I need to see it,
Okay. Okay. Do you want to walk out there with me someday?
sure.
Okay. When are you free?
I'm retired.
Is it dark?
Every day but Friday.
Pardon me?
I said every day but Friday.
Every day but Friday, okay. How about Thursday?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna give you my email, so you can get in touch with me.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Kathy.
Is it Kathy with a C or with a K?
Kathie.
And is there an E at the end of green or just green?
Breen, B,
E, okay.
B-R-E-E-N.
G-R-E-E-N?
B.
Oh,
B as in
B,
boy.
B, okay, B-R-E-E-N, okay. All right. And I'm G, Rosati, R-O-S-A-T-I, at merrimacknh.gov. That's my email
Merrimack, the
address.
whole thing?
Whole thing, yeah. So G Rosati at merrimacknh.gov.
Okay.
And the way to reach any of us is just our first initial, last name at merrimacknh.gov.
Okay, so Thursday, what time are you proposing?
Thursday, what's good for you? After the mosquitoes. So-
Early?
I'm good early.
All right, how early?
I can get there about 8:30.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know where I'm going.
Okay. You're going Babuzik, you're going to Wildcat Falls, and you're gonna go on, you know where Babuzik is past the library?
Yeah.
Okay, so go up past the library, and you're gonna go, past the roads for the high school, and then across the street from, what is it, Indian?
Indian Rock.
Do you know where,
Indian
do you know
Rock
where Courier Road is?
Courier
Yeah,
Road.
I know
Okay.
Courier.
Go all
Okay,
the way
Courier
down
Road.
to the end of Courier Road,
Okay,
and then there's a parking lot for Wildcat Falls. Stop snorting over there, you.
okay, got it.
Control yourself.
Right, 8:30.
Yeah,
I love
8:30,
that.
I'll be in the parking lot.
Thank you for coming to us. I've learned something tonight, just
Yeah.
listening to
Like my
all
wife.
of it.
It's like, go here, go. It's like, just give me the address. Just give me the address. That's all I want.
I'm from that era
I
of
know.
before
I didn't intend to
GPS.
volunteer. Just wanted to listen. But pollinator garden, how can I say
I'll
no?
take a look
You
at
know,
the property
so-
and see.
Many
And
years
also-
ago, I came to listen as well.
Yeah, we got a hook into you.
Yeah.
So I live my life now, so I'm good.
Kathy, we're very interested in that, pollinator garden. And
Yes,
obviously,
okay.
we're in tune with the fact that we're losing a lot of the pollinators here in town, so
Yeah.
that was always, we were hoping that this was gonna be more successful so we could replicate it at the other properties.
Okay.
So, well, no, that's no shot at Eugene at all. So if, you know, we're still interested in doing that. I'm very interested in doing that still. So
Okay.
we've got a lot of acreage around town that we really like to make sure we can increase that.
Sounds like a lot of wool.
Yeah,
Hmm.
well,
Well, in Gina's defense too, this was 2019 that we did this, right? And you got zero support from Mother Nature. Wasn't that the year?
It was, we had a drought, yeah, so.
Yeah,
and
I
it-
know, that's when we started our garden,
Well, it'd be good
But
to have a
we
discerning eye
watered
on
it.
on the property.
Yeah.
the first year.
Yeah,
But apparently if we use the wool, we might not need to.
yeah.
well, that's the thing, boy, this would be a perfect, if we can get a good template and we can replicate this, I would love to do this all over the place.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wonder if, I hate to say this, I wonder if like if just, well, you said it's the lanolin and the wool,
Well, it's the wool, because the wool absorbs the moisture from the air.
yeah,
So she said she'd come out in the morning and it would be sopping wet.
okay,
It just pulls all that humidity, you know, all the water out of the air,
okay,
and then it's just, and she
Yeah.
said it kept the ground cool, which is another good thing.
yeah,
When it's, 90 degrees, it's nice to have the ground a little cooler. Plants
Right.
don't like to be so hot.
yeah.
So I'm not part of the Merrimack Garden Club, but I do know some members, and maybe if we get this started, we can pull some of them in.
That would be fantastic, because, I mean, if you walk into I have two planters, I have one lonely tomato that's been struggling to
Oh.
grow out, there's one tomato, one.
I think I'm working on my 5,000 to 6,000 square foot gardens in my yard. It's just everywhere.
Yeah,
And then my husband's clearing a space for me, 1,200 square feet.
I'm a knitter though, and I do
I
know
can
wool,
knit.
so I will find wool.
But there, I know if you go out towards Wilton, that way, there are people with sheep and, because my daughter, used to get sheep shearings, and she would spin.
Right,
They have a spinning group somewhere in Milford, Wilton.
Let's start with a look at the property and
Yeah.
see what's.
Yeah.
So there's
That's
gotta be
proposed.
something out there.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if even, maybe alpaca or something like that.
yeah, I was wondering about alpaca,
I
that,
don't know.
okay, good to know, okay, wonderful, well, I'm looking
But that would
forward
be a
for
good way
well.
to, at least experiment and see how that works.
Yeah, that would be
Well,
great.
great, thank you very much.
Yeah,
You're
thank you
welcome.
so much. All
Can I
right.
go back and sit in my corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Thanks.
stay up here if you want, that's fine. All right,
That's, the only thing we have left is, commissioner comments. Where did we start? I don't remember where we started last time. Mike, you wanna go first? What do you got?
Sure. So the 4th of October, I'll be meeting with the county forester from UNH.
wait, the 4th of October?
I think that was the day.
that
Let me
Monday?
check my
That's-
calendar.
Oh, okay. Wait, no, we have a meeting October 4th, here,
Really? That's in like 2 weeks.
yep.
Huh. That's a,
I thought it was a Tuesday that you were meeting with them.
it's a Monday.
It's a Monday? Okay, yeah, we have a meeting October 4th. What time's your meeting
Oh,
with
okay.
them?
6 o'clock, I'll move it. That's fine.
Okay,
His whole calendar was open, so.
okay, yeah,
But anyway, I'll be meeting with him to kind of get an idea of how we can enhance the habitat of our parcels, identify some of the invasives, get his advice on removing them, you know, things like that.
That
Yeah.
is good.
Anything else?
No,
Gage?
I'm all set.
Cindy?
No, actually, I do have something.
Yeah.
We're getting that time of year. If you're in the woods, wear your hunter orange.
Mm.
Put on your dog, your cat, whatever you're gonna walk.
your deer suit?
Yeah. White gloves and antlers, run around. Sorry, go on.
Cindy? No? Eric? No.
Nope, Gage said what I was gonna say, wear your blaze orange.
I'm
And
gonna put a
it
couple
on
of
your
these,
dog. There.
I'll email them out to the group. It's general mail that we've received. One, I mean, some of you might be interested. One is the 2021 New Hampshire Tree Farm Field Day. So this is at the nursery in Bosquen. I just only glanced at it, but it's Saturday, October 2nd. Looks like they take you out to the growing beds and everything else. And you can look at it here, but I'll just scan it and send it to everyone's email so you have it. The other thing we get is supply lines. I suppose I could scan this and put it in also. I don't think I've ever read it. I don't know if have we always gotten this?
Is that Timber Owners Association?
I don't know what that is. That looks like a new one.
It's newsletter of New Hampshire DES Drinking Water and Groundwater Bureau. So great stuff. I'll put that on there also. This is a little robust to be scanned and sent out to everybody, but if you'd like to look at it, if you'd like to take it with you, do either.
Got one at home.
It's a great magazine.
It is a good magazine. And this I'm gonna send out, and we'll put this on the agenda for the next meeting, just if someone has input. So basically, they're just looking for input. If we have input, it's about this rail trail, or the rail proposal that would connect Nashua to Boston and Manchester. You've probably all read about this. Look at what they're asking before you spend a lot of time on this. That's why I wanted to just mention it here and not just, you'll all get it, it'll be in the packet. But really, all they're looking for is if there are known issues with invasive species along the railroad tracks. They highlight 4 or 5 things that they just want input if those conditions exist in town.
I've worked on that committee,
You
Sunny
did?
Valley, and I'm telling you, it took months to generate that letter. So thank you for saying that
Yeah.
you read it. It's going to be a long, long process, but we'd like to get an idea of what's on the corridor.
Mm-hmm.
Just get an idea of what we're working with.
Yeah, this has been well thought out. It's the specific things they're looking for, and but it'll be in the packet for next time. I just want to save anyone. I know our time preparing for these meetings is limited, and you appropriated it, in a smart way. So don't spend a ton of time on this.
So they're gonna be making a trail on the existing.
The proposal is
existing?
rail with trail.
Okay.
And right now, there's a lot of people in Nashua on board. National Regional Planning Commission is working with us. But there's several towns to go through.
And the railroad's gonna let you do it?
The railroad is about to change ownership.
Oh.
Really?
That's a, no, we don't have permission, but we are seeking it. Because there's precedent in other parts of the country, and even in parts of New Hampshire, of rail with trail. But of course, there are liability concerns, and it varies from owner to owner who's willing to work with it. Right now, the ones in New Hampshire that are most successful are on lines that are owned by the state, like up around Lake Winnipesaukee.
Huh.
So this one's ambitious, but.
That'd be pretty cool. It would connect Sklar to the rest of the world.
And that's my job with the campaign, is to point out the recreational aspects. Other people can talk about the business and the transportation. I'm looking at the recreational opportunities. But yeah, this is a long-term project.
Very long time.
That was all I had. Someone want to make a final motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Ellen. All in favor? Fantastic. All right, this meeting is adjourned. It is 7:54.
Breakfast